Authorities in Geraldton are tonight making arrangements to accommodate 66 asylum seekers who managed to sail to within a few hundred metres of the city's busy port. The breach of border security has been described by the Premier as a serious lapse. The lunchtime crowd on the beach couldn't believe their eyes when the boat suddenly appeared.
The men, women and children believed to be from Sri Lanka sailed into the port city virtually undetected. Locals having lunch at a cafe on the foreshore quickly phoned authorities.
I couldn't believe it. I saw it coming in and it sort of coming straight at me, turned to the right a bit and I noticed what it was. And then I immediately got on the phone to the Port Authority and took nearly 2 phone calls, 2 attempts to convince them what I was talking about.
Where's customs and all that? What are they doing? Having coffees?
The asylum seekers were later seen holding a sign asking for help to get to New Zealand.
I mean, this is where it has come to, where boats are now arriving directly to the Australian mainland.
A pilot boat from the Geraldton port escorted the vessel into the harbour where customs and police officers boarded it. Hundreds of onlookers lined the road, watching as the boat was anchored alongside the wharf.
Well, I don't think it says too much for the surveillance that's been going on around the place, is it?
The Premier, Colin Barnett, says he's alarmed at what he calls an unprecedented breach of Australia's border security.
Well, it's a serious lapse, and I simply cannot imagine how this could have occurred. For a boat in broad daylight to have sailed onto the Australian mainland and just blatantly sail into Geraldton, that is extraordinary.
Some passengers have already disembarked. State agencies are working with the Commonwealth to ensure the welfare of the unexpected arrivals. It's not the first time asylum seekers have made it so far south along the Australian coast. In 2008, a dozen Sri Lankans landed near Shark Bay, north of Geraldton. Some even swam ashore. Under current laws, only asylum seekers intercepted at sea or the Christmas or Cocos Islands can be sent to Papua New Guinea or Nauru for processing. The Immigration Department says arrangements are being made to send the 66 Sri Lankans to Christmas Island. Grant Wynn, ABC News.
ABC Geraldton reporter Sarah Taylor has been covering the story.
So right now everyone is off the boat and they're currently in a facility within the Geraldton port. It seems fairly secure. Everyone is in there and it's quite bizarre because actually I'm standing right in front of it and I can see a number of shadows of tall and small men and females and they're waving occasionally. And so obviously they're still in good spirits after a very, very long travel. The next part is, from what I understand, they will actually be in about 3 or so hours. They will be exiting via buses and then possibly going to the airport. But that next link of the journey is still speculation.
What about health concerns, Sarah? There was some suggestions that there were some small children there and one of the women may have been pregnant. Can you tell us anything about that?
Yeah, well, certainly they have been on the boat for a very long time, and even when they were around Geraldton, they were outside in the sun for a number of hours. And there was a lady we saw with a small baby in her arms, so certainly healthcare is going to be the main priority. They did look quite tired when we saw some people hopping off the boat. They were certainly not running. They were certainly didn't look strong. They were just kind of staggering along. But they have all been processed and there is an ambulance on site and so far it hasn't been used, so that's got to be a good sign.